here so you can see stuff. Okay, the tray that we're gonna be making, this is the sample that I made yesterday. And it is still very rough around the edges. So we will be getting a damp foliage spray. It's still really moist. But after you have it and it is leather hard, you will be wiping it and kind of cleaning it up, but this is still pretty damp. See, it's still flexible. We don't want that. Okay, so what you're gonna do is get you some clay, and the dimensions that we're gonna be working with are 6 by 6. And we do have templates that are up here that you're gonna be able to use. And then all we're gonna do is wedge the clay up. I just kind of pound it together because one, I can't wedge very good because I have a carpal tunnel in this hand. That doesn't work very well with wedging. Okay. So I just pound it out. And then don't forget, when you roll out your clay, roll it a couple times and then flip it. Roll it, flip it. And the reason why is that way you get the same thickness throughout your clay. You don't want it to be too thick. And you want the same thickness on all the sides. And right there you can see there's an air bubble. You see that moving around? Okay. What you need to do, if you have any of those, oh, there it is. Just get your needle tool and pop it and see if you can get the air out of it, because that is an area that could cause an explosion in the kiln. Do one of you guys have like one of the rubber ribs? Can I borrow it? Thank you. Make sure that you always take your rubber rib and smooth this out. One, it's compressing the clay and it's smoothing out any texture that you might have with your tarp. Make sure it is cleaned a little bit so it doesn't leave any texture. And then flip it over and do the same thing. Oh, there's an air bubble. Okay, then you're going to take your template, and I made this big enough that I'm not going to have to worry about that air bubble that I popped. Hold it down and make sure that you have your needle tool vertically and just pull. Don't do it at an angle, just make sure that it is straight up and down. make sure that you have the same thickness all the way around. You don't want this like really, really big. Probably about, what is that, about a quarter of an inch, no bigger than a half. And then what you're gonna do is I have styrofoam balls over here. Some of them are like half size. We have eggs shaped. But you are going to take some tissue, put the tissue on the styrofoam, bless you. This has texture on it, so we do not want the texture in the clay. So, and we don't want it to stick. So we'll take a little tissue, put it on there. And then we are going to lightly drape it over the top and just kind of bend your clay slab over. And then we're going to make a little foot. Now you can do a coil, you can do just a slab. That wasn't very good. And then when you cut this so it fits the two edges, do a 45-degree angle and then do the opposite. So when you put it together, it's going to fit together. All right. And then place it on here. What I like to do is just lightly draw a little circle so you know where you're going to score it. And then if you have a scoring tool, you could use one of these. Put your slip around it. Make sure you have this blended together on all four sides. You'll put that on, and then you'll get your blending tool. You'll blend it. You can also take a coil after you get that blended and put it around and then blend that as a security blanket. That's kind of what I did here, and I thought, oh, I like that texture, and then I started making the texture all over. Okay, so, and then once this gets leather hard, that's when we'll take a damp sponge and clean up the edges so they're not sharp, because usually if you have a sharp edges, that's when things start to break. Okay, so we'll want to smooth all that out. But I would do this first. We'll have to put it in a plastic bag because it has to get leather hard to the point where you're able to hold it without it flopping around and everything, because that's where we're going to get the picture of the animal, and we're going to be able to put it on there after we glaze the top of it to actually indent the drawing with the pencil. So we're going to be tracing it on there. Okay? All right.